What a massive win by Charlton against West Ham 2-1. Last week we were saying that Miles could help TC to be a stronger player because they have to play in a close proximity. I think that happened again because without that recovery, that beautiful goal, that magnificent goal by Campbell, it couldn't be happen because the idea behind the last video that we did is exactly that TC is a great player and he can dig into any defense, but of course he will be a stronger player playing next to Miles or a stronger player because he can accelerate what already TC can give to this team. When you look at the network passes of the first half, you will see there was a strong connection between McNamara and Grant. Look at this strong blue line right there. Also, there was a strong connection between Jones and Coventry in the middle. I think that was this, how the way out, how the team has their way out. But also, if you look at Kumetio with Bell on the left, and of course Coventry trying to find in that first half. The first minutes of the first half, TC was on the right, but then switch over to go to the left when that particular place of the field of the pitch, he could be more dangerous for the opposite team. When you look at the match momentum, was all more about, especially in the first half, was a little bit more about Charlton. That in the second half, there was really trying Charlton to maintain that difference with the second goal by Campbell. When you look at the defensive block by Charlton, again, it's important to divide in different parts of the game, at different minutes of the game. When you look at the whole defensive block of the whole game, this is the average line, 32 meters away from the goal. But also look at West Ham right here. They were more in the midfield. This average is fine. However, again, when you divide the data, pre-goal, like 0 to 56 and 56 to the end of the game, you will see the difference on the average position of the team, which was more deep. So Charlton FC was trying to defend as much as possible. I think they have an outstanding defense, and we will show you in just 1 minute. Besides, they were defending like more deeper, as you could see after the second goal. But also more important, look at how was the defensive block from West Ham before the second goal and after the second goal, where they were defending right here. So that's telling you West Ham was all on the opposite field. I think at that point, what Charlton was trying to do was to trying to find a counter. It was hard to find a counter. There was no spaces. But when you look at the defensive block, it was smart by Charlton trying to find a counter because they were having the whole defense in Charlton field. What I'm saying was very smart by Charlton at some point, or not smart, but very effective at defending, because again, when you go back to the network passes, look at Tati Castellanos right here. Look at him. He was so isolated. At some point, he barely intervened in the game. And if you see the line passes, they're very faint. He barely intervened in the game. I think that's all merit about Charlton defense. They were super strong at defending. They do their best to defend. And I think another important thing to look at is the crosses. Look at the crosses. This is another piece of data that is very important. There were 19 crosses on the left and 14 on the right by West Ham. But look at the successful, only 8. So about all those 33 crosses, this is telling you how good the defense was by Charlton. They were, if you look at the list, which I think is important, look at the goalkeeper. He's at the top of the list with 4. But look at Matthew. Look at him. 4 clearances, 4 defensive headers. Needless to say, Jones, 3 clearances. I think overall, Charlton defense was amazing. They were just clearing all the walls in the box, and you could see again when you look at all these arrows coming into the box, only the red ones are the ones that were successful. That's telling you that the Charlton defense was pretty solid, although they were defending very deep, and that's something that you could argue that the team has to get better. But it's almost a Premier League team. West Ham is a stronger team, one of the strongest in the league, and yeah, at the very end is whatever you could do to just save those plays. It seems pretty obvious that TC, Jones, and Miles were key to win this game. But I'm going to tell you why I think McNamara was also key to win this game. Because when you look at the general stats, for instance, 23% possession wise by Charlton and only 140 passes completed. That's barely nothing by a team that want to win a game. Of course, it's not in a soccer game. Not always about possession, but if you want to have more chances to win the game, of course you want to have the ball because you can create chances. You can progress in the game, and again. I think McNamara has a key role in the game. Charlton has 13 consecutive passes. That was the longest possession chain in the game. McNamara was involved at the beginning of the play and at the end. But also when you look at the second more consecutive, right here, the second more consecutive longest chain consecutive passes, McNamara was also involved in that passes. This was in the first half. And when you look at the third longest consecutive passes by the team, also McNamara at the end and at the beginning of that consecutive passes. I think he was a key on this game to gain confidence about having the ball in their feet, but not only about that. When you also look at more granular data on the top 10 ball progressor players, look at this. It was if you look at the top 10, there will be the first 8 will be by West Ham, but the 9 is McNamara with 5 progressive passes and 2 progressive carries. And also more important, when you look at the top 10 threatening players, look at this again. The first 8 are by West Ham, but the number 8 is McNamara with an expected carry of 0.03 and expected pass of 0.15. When you look at the McNamara, this is granular data also right here. This is the pass map of McNamara, which I think is very nice to see. He did a progressive carry in one of the play, almost running the whole field, not the whole field, but half of the field, but also a lot of progressive passes that were important for that first half of the Charlton, especially when they need to get the ball in their feet. You need a player that is able to get the ball in their feet and not lose possession. And I think that was one of the key that helped Charlton to win the game. Another metric that is important that Charlton gets better at is the ball recovery time. When you look at the ball recovery time of the whole game, West Ham 43 seconds. This is the median recovery time, and look at Charlton, double the time. But this is not exactly telling you the whole story of the game, because when you divide this data by first and second half, your eyes will be open. Look at what it was actually the data on the first and second half by West Ham is 40 seconds ball recovery time first half and 53 seconds, just 11 seconds difference. Not a huge difference by West Ham right there, but look what it was by Charlton, 68, 1 minute and 8 seconds in the first half, but more than 3 minutes in that second half. It was very difficult for Charlton FC to get the ball in the second half. So the defense was deep, and it was hard for the team to get the ball back and just try to stretch the team and try to get out of that deep defense. But again, almost West Ham is almost a Premier League team, so I think the lads did a great game. When you look at the granular data of the final third entries, is also telling you about the story of the game. On the left, look at West Ham is 105 final third entries, more on the wings, as you could say, rather than in the center of the field, but also very those final entries, they were not very deep. They were, if you just make a line on the box on the it was not even reaching that particular line, right? So it were, although they were entering a lot in the final third, they were not very deep on those entries. When you look at the Charlton on the other side, it was poor by Charlton in this particular game. But again, who got the win at the very end? It was Charlton. So who cares about how much or how many final third entries when you won 2-1, right? So of course there are things that they need to get better at, and that's why it's nice to see all this data, and just taking advantage of looking at the data to see exactly what happened in the game. I think just to look at the final images, yeah, looking at the defensive block as I showed before, this is more granular data about Kumetio. Look at Kumetio, he was look at the clearances, amazing job by him. We'll look at that on the list, but also ball recoveries right here and here. I think again the defense by Charlton was very strong, very solid. Although they were deep, they were defending well. They didn't let Tati Castellanos to get, to gain confidence in the game, and you could see that at the very end with that PK. He was not really confident at the ball with the ball and just hit the post and just missed that PK. Again, a very strong and solid defense by Charlton. What a win, what a massive win. I think congrats to the last team. I think I saw a few images. I have one friend, Will Dalton, who is a huge fan of Charlton, and he showed me some pictures of the game. He was at the stadium. Beautiful images, by the way. Anyway, congrats to the lads, and that's we're in the top of the on the qualifying, the top of the 6 point out of 6. So great. See you in the next video. Thanks to all of the people that liked the video, the previous video, and support the channel. Appreciate it.